Hello, Motivated Rider. And today I want to talk about the 9 stupid things that people say to e-bike owners. And let's jump right into it. So, number one, and some of you will get a kick out of this, and maybe you've experienced some of this already. And, you know, when I started this YouTube channel, I rode a ICE VTX recumbent trike, and I could do a whole video on just dumb things that people say when you ride a recumbent trike. Okay, but now I ride a electric assist bike, a level 3, Avington level 3 commuter. Okay, and I love it. Okay, and the main thing I love about it is it's fun, and I love having fun. And I found that if you love having fun, if you love something, it's not exercise. You know, you remember, that old saying that, if you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. Well, there's some truth to that. Okay. All right. So let's jump into it. So number one, that's cheating, right? The fact that you have electric assist, you have people that say, oh, that's cheating. Okay. And that's probably the most common comments, and typically that's coming from traditional cyclists, and it just basically implies that riding is only for competition, right? And it just ignores the fact that e-bikes are tools for commuting or utility or delivering food, and either way you're staying active regardless of the fitness level. And I think that's the part that really gets missing. So hang on to the end of the video, because I do have a treat. I've got some receipts I want to show you. Okay. So just hang on. All right. So watch the video to the end. So number two, you aren't getting any exercise. Like, really? I mean, and that's kind of a persistent myth that honestly we've probably all heard before, right? And basically studies show that e-bike riders often get more total physical activity. I know for me, when I used to ride an upright, I burn way more calories now. There's really no comparison. I think I burn more now than I did when I had my recumbent trike. Okay, and I'll explain that to you. So because I ride longer distance now, like an average ride for me now, it's probably 15 to 17 miles, right? And so you're going to ride a longer distance, and you're going to ride more frequently. It's nothing for me to do, 3 days back to back where I do a combined 45, 50 miles. All right. That's not unheard of. And to me, because you're going to ride longer distance and more frequently than traditional cyclists, one thing I realized, when I had, I think I had a Specialized, I forget just one it was. I know it was several $1,000s. It was very light. I bought it because it was light. I figured, I could climb hills. We have a lot of hills in this area, and I figured, climbing hills. But you know what? That bike collected a lot of dust. It collected a lot of dust. And so, I think my first, Avington, I bought a level 2, I think, and I put 2,500 miles on that, which is not a lot of miles. On an e-bike. And I think my current one, I've got close to 1,500 miles on it. And then I've got another bike that I ride. But that's a different kind of bike. We'll talk about that later on. Okay. So point number 3. All right. So get a real bike. Okay. You'll hear that too. And once again, that's from our purists who believe that a real bike must be purely analog, right? It overlooks the fact that e-bikes are often the primary vehicle for people with disabilities, with injuries, or that have long commutes. Okay. Number 4, you're going to run out of battery or get stranded. All right. And this assumes that the e-bike is just useless without power. So I've had, not too often, but a couple of times I've ran out of power and I just pedal home. Okay. It's no big deal. Right. And so they can still be pedaled manually. Right. And batteries now provide a range anywhere from, 40 miles to 100 miles. Okay. And so, these are just myths. So number 5, you're just being lazy. Really? You being lazy? And so this ignores the many reasons that people use e-bikes. Okay, such as, hauling heavy cargo or commuting without arriving all sweaty, or managing steep hills, right? And so I would really, just really disagree with that now, right? And then here's number 4. So those things are only for old people. While it's great for older adults, e-bikes are great for all ages. A lot of the young folks are not very active. So having an e-bike could be a way of getting active. Okay. And it's a wonderful way to get around, especially if you live in an urban area. Okay. All right. Number 7, those things are going to explode. We got to deal with that. All right. So then the reality is that does sometimes happen, but it's like 1 to every 10 to 15,000. Okay. So it's a very low percentage. And I guess the concern is with the lithium ion batteries and the fire, are often exaggerated, for high quality, certified bikes. Okay. And so, with the new technology, that the bikes, in the market that we're entering now, a lot of those safety fears, are being addressed. Okay. So, number 8, you're going too fast for the trail. Okay. And honestly, most bikes are level 1, level 2. So they cut off either at 20 or 28 miles an hour, depending on if it's a level 1 or it's a level 2. And yeah, I get it if there's a speed limit on the trail. But I think it's important that we all, be responsible and we can all share the trail. Same thing with the roads. We can all share the roads. Okay. And yeah, you may run across some folks that are irresponsible. Okay. That can happen. All right. So I'm not trying to minimize that, but a lot of it is a myth. Okay. So, and then number 9, is that legal here? Right. And so and that really just comes from people that are confused observer, due to various, local laws. Sometimes it's just not that clear, but in most places, a class 1, a class 2 e-bike are treated, similarity, to traditional bikes. Now, one of the things that I want to explain too is I want to explain that, there is a difference between a cadence sensor and a pedal torque sensor. Okay, so what I ride is a pedal torque sensor. So here's what that means. That means that bike doesn't give me any power unless I pedal. So the more I pedal, the more power it gives me. So, and I love that, because if I don't do anything, it doesn't give me anything. Now, yes, I do have a throttle, but the only time I use a throttle is if I'm trying to get a quick takeoff because I'm crossing over an intersection and I want to get a quick start, that's pretty much the only time I'll use pedal torque. Okay. I'll use a cadence. I use the cadence sensor. For the most part, I just use my torque sensor. I love the torque sensor. Okay. It's to me, it's just revolutionized. And it's not a matter of if you will get a e-assist, it's a matter of when. Okay, so I told you I had a treat for you. I had some receipts, and as you can see in front of you, so in front of you, you're looking at some of my rides. The first one is a 13-mile ride. You see I burned 561 calories on that one. There's a 20-mile ride, 954 calories. 21-mile ride, 1,000 calories. Then a 9-mile ride, 448 calories. And we can go on, right? There's 726 calories. So this was December. Okay. I think that was a December. These are the kind of numbers that I would do when I had a recumbent trike. Very similar calorie burn. And I think that's the difference between having pedal torque versus just having a cadence. Now, I do have a bike where it's just throttle and there is some pedaling, but honestly, the bike is so powerful, you can't really do a lot of pedaling on a bike. And so maybe I'll bring that bike in on one of the later shows and just show you, what that bike looks like. I mostly ride that not for exercise. I ride my level 3 for exercise. Okay. The way I look at it, it's almost like I'm riding a treadmill or an elliptical, because they help you as well. Okay. So elliptical, it helps you. It's low impact. And you're using arm and legs. Okay. And so I'm burning I'm burning more calories than I do when I ride the elliptical. If I ride the elliptical for 30 minutes, I might burn 350 calories. Okay. I can do about 400, maybe 500 calories, depending on the day, in 30 minutes. I can do 10 miles in 30 minutes because typically I'm doing about 19 miles an hour. Okay. On a fast end, I'm averaging 22, and I'm talking about averages. All right. And so, I put a lot of energy. I put a lot of effort. So it's not like I'm just hitting the throttle and then I'm just going for it. Okay. That's not what it is. And that's why I like the pedal torque. Okay. So if you like the video, you want more content like this, hey, hit thumbs up, share it, comment. Thanks and out. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.